It's fall, y'all, and us fall girlies, we love the smells of fall. We love our pumpkin spice. We love our vanilla coffee. We love our cinnamon, but what we don't love in the fall is BO. You guys, just because it's not summer anymore doesn't mean we don't still have BO. We do, and that's why you need Lumi. Lumi is a whole body deodorant that is seriously safe to use anywhere on your body. Your pits, your underboobs, your thigh folds, your belly buttons, your butt cracks, your private areas, and your feet. Lumi was created by an OBGYN who saw firsthand how normal BO was being misdiagnosed and mistreated. And it's clinically proven to block odor all day and control odor for up to 72 hours. Lumi now has a starter pack that's perfect for new customers. So it comes with a solid stick deodorant, a cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice like the mini body wash and the deodorant wipes, and free shipping. And as a special offer for my listeners, new customers get 15% off all Lumi products with our exclusive code PINKSHADE. So if you combine that 15% off coupon with the already discounted starter pack, that equals 40% off their starter pack. So use code PINKSHADE for 15% off your first purchase at LumiDeodorant.com. LumiDeodorant.com, LumiDeodorant.com. Use code PINKSHADE and you're going to get 15% off, and the starter pack is already reduced. You guys, I love the deodorant wipes and I love the all over deodorant. You need to try both of these things out and let me know what you liked. Thanks.
That.
Hey y'all, welcome to Pink Shade. It's Mary Payne here, and it's Tuesday. It's TLC Tuesday. It's before the 90 days. And no, Kimberly, 50 Cent does not own vitamin water. Doesn't he own it's the one that sometimes on Vanderpump Rules they have on the side tables. It's like not Powerade, it's shit. But that's also owned by Jake Paul, so that's something else. Does 50 Cent own vitamin water?
Yes.
I feel very good now about buying vitamin water. We drink a lot of it.
Mm-hmm. I love vitamin water. I wish they would make the drops and then I could flavor it because I hate having all the recycling and stuff.
I know. I do just the Mio in my Stanley
I need
cup.
to find a good Mio flavor that I like.
Oh, I love Mio.
Yeah.
I love Mio. I like to even get like the LaCroix black raspberry. It's like blackberry or something with like a couple of Z's in it, and put a little Mio in it. Oh, it's good.
Did you see someone on your Facebook page told a horrific story about a Stanley Cup? It wasn't that horrific, but it was pretty funny.
Yeah, I wrote back and said that's not a responsible Stanley Cup user. So I can't be responsible for those not using their Stanley Cups wisely. So it sounds to me like what the person did, if you're watching this on video, is unscrewed their lid and then like did their straw. And so everything just shot out of the straw, like to the person behind them.
No, I think because they were on a plane and they had a cap, those straw caps.
Yeah.
Still don't totally know the purpose of that.
Yeah.
And then because it got pressurized because they were on the plane, they popped it open and it went and landed on another passenger.
Twice, she said, twice.
And she's like, it had backwater and all that back saliva and all that. Who knows what's in it?
Ew. Well, I want everyone to know that if you are a member of Pink Shade Prime, that tomorrow we will have the Love is Blind season 12, the finale, the wedding episode. That'll be out tomorrow with Keisha. But also this weekend, I'll be doing 90 Day the Other Way with Amy. And I've got a real disgusting story to tell.
Oh,
so I'm going to warn everyone that it's going to be disgusting.
Oh boy.
And I'll let everybody know, to fast forward 2 minutes or whatever. But it's going to be disgusting. And I'm telling you in advance, if you are easily grossed out, don't listen, because I am easily grossed out. And if I had to know about it, so do all of you.
I'm so excited. By the way,
you'll be very excited.
Can we address this?
Okay, if you're watching on video, I logged in today to see Kimberly has happy birthday balloons, streamers, and a printed happy birthday card on her shiplap wall behind her.
Happy birthday, Mary Payne.
That was so thoughtful and nice. I
You are
appreciate
such a
that.
joy in all of our lives.
Oh,
I'm
well,
glad you were born.
thank you. That's what my daughter said too. She said, I'm glad you were born because then I was born. I said,
Yeah. See, and
that's
I
right.
have no selfish motivations.
Thank you. Thank you. The day was, I did while I was at the beach, I did go to the spa and get a massage. And then I went to one of the shops that I love and bought a dress, and it was all on Dave. So that was my birthday
Good.
present. And then he also got me a spa gift card for my place here. So we're seeing a pattern of what I like to do.
Nice.
I like to get my nails and my toes done. And like, I think I'm going tomorrow and getting like a facial and a dermaplane. I don't know.
Nice.
Just getting ready for my trip to Mississippi.
Self-care.
Yeah. Makes me
So
happy.
important.
You're forced, for an hour to have your
Mhm.
phone off and just do nothing. You're forced to do it.
Yeah, that's why it's so stressful for me. I hate
Yes.
massages.
Because then
I
my mind
hate
is
it.
going the whole time.
I'm never relaxed. I'm thinking about my to-do list. They're
Mhm.
asking me what I do for a living. I'm
Mm,
thinking, do I say podcast or do I make something up? Because then they're
right.
going to ask questions.
Right. Or
I
those.
need them to put on a podcast so that I can be distracted. Or like when you were in that full body scan, put on Netflix or something.
Yes, that was nice. That was nice. Yeah, I never finished watching that. That was, what did I watch? The worst. It was like ex-roommate, but this was like worst boyfriend ever.
Why were you watching that in the scanner? That's so stressful.
I don't know, murder shows call me. I would rather watch,
Okay.
I'd
Yeah, I
rather
get
watch
that.
that than anything else.
I get
And I
that.
need to watch. Okay, so I know that Karen Reed did a Dateline interview, and the one with 2020 was so horrible that
Yeah.
the Dateline one has to just by default has to be better. But how
Yeah.
was it? Because I haven't watched it yet.
I thought it was pretty good, but I do feel like it was a little biased and they did leave out some things that I only know from Katie, and then now I feel like I know a lot more because we recorded for 4.5 hours after. And we had Jake on and we talked about the differences between 2020 and Dateline and
Uh-huh.
everything Dateline just didn't
Okay.
have time for in 2 hours. I
Yeah.
mean, this has
Yeah.
been going on for 2 years.
Right.
So, but there are a couple things that I think like I was talking to my parents about it. My dad thinks she did it, and I was
Mm.
telling him the stuff the Dateline left out, and he was like, "Huh." So he's like, "Well, then Dateline should have put that in," but he still thinks she did it because he thinks it's the simplest solution. Which normally I say, think horses, not zebras, but this time I actually think there might be something bigger going
I
on.
don't see how it could be the simplest solution at all.
Yeah.
At all.
I think the actual simplest solution is a bunch of white men in power trying to stay in power and cover up for themselves.
Yeah.
Um,
That's the simplest
that's
solution here.
actually the simplest solution.
Yeah. Yeah. For two different experts to get up and say that his injuries were not conducive with being hit by a car.
Yeah,
He didn't have he had a lot of broken bones in his face
right.
from being beat up.
And I think that one thing Dateline didn't do is talk about the credentials of the person who or the really big experts that said that it wasn't conducive
Mhm,
to a
mhm,
car
mhm.
accident. They didn't really go over that or why they were there for this other thing, like this other investigation, I guess. And they're like
Yes.
really big shots that are like hired by the FBI to do crime reconstruction and stuff. So they have a lot more credentials than the other guy for the prosecution who apparently took some weekend classes on
Right.
crash reconstruction.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Katie told me all of this and I was like, wow, Dateline really should have said that.
Yeah.
So, and the thing about destroying the phones, like the two guys that destroyed their
Yeah.
phones, like
Right.
Dateline didn't go over that. And I really wish they had because that's super sus.
Yeah. And there was no taillight pieces and then all that missing footage
Yeah.
from inside the Sally port where the cars have to
Yes.
go. There just
Yes.
happens to be they walk around to the back of the car and then the cameras are cut for
Yeah.
45 minutes and then they're back on. Weird.
And
And
apparently there's like library footage that shows that the car had a tail light, but that footage was given to Proctor and then disappeared.
mm,
So and then
Proctor's
there
involved in a couple of other cases that are super sketch as well. Yeah.
yeah, I think he's horrible. So
Yeah, it's really, really interesting. Well, I will watch it. But you're right. I mean, until we get a 6-part documentary, we're not going to get all the pieces of it.
yeah.
We're just
And I
not.
think Andrea is the host, and I think Andrea is definitely more pro police, pro, she's very pro military. Her husband's in the Marines and like, or the Navy, sorry. And so I think maybe she was a little doesn't really buy it. So, and I'm wondering if the host had been Josh, if it would have been different, because Josh is very pro conspiracy theory. He's always looking at like who is scamming us,
Yeah, yeah.
So that I think would have been interesting if we had gotten both hosts doing like their versions of it.
Well, nobody steal that idea. TM. It's
No,
Kimberly's.
well, it's actually Josh's idea. Like he wants to do an episode where he and Keith cover the same case, but from different angles. And he thought that would be in like one episode to go back and forth.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Isn't it? Yeah.
Give it to us.
One
Sweep,
could
sweep.
cover the defense and one could cover the prosecution's like angle. I think that'd be very cool.
There you go, guys. There you go. Don't steal Josh Mankowitz's idea either. TM.
No, please. But we have a big live stream on Wednesday. Can I pitch it before we get started?
Please. I'd like to know what it is.
There's this woman named Peaches. Peaches and Diesel is her Instagram handle, and she's hilarious. She has these how to make a Dateline binder if I go missing, if I get murdered. She's hilarious. So
like only the best pictures and don't say
like a picture of you in a bikini, not like the picture of you with no makeup on currently, and like a whole suspects, tab for like your husband and his motives and anyone else that you pissed off and like all this stuff. She's so funny. And so she's going to teach us how to make our own binders, and you can like watch along and make your own at home. And Josh Mankiewicz is going to be on the live stream too. So he's going to give us the Dateline inside track. Yeah. So
okay. What time is that on Wednesday?
6 o'clock. 9 o'clock, 6 PST, 9
EST.
EST. Yeah.
8 CST.
There we go.
7 MST.
Yep.
Look at me. It's my birthday and I learned how to do math.
I'm so proud of you. That's something you usually struggle with is the time zones.
It's the time zones. Yeah. Poor me. Well, I will tell you guys that so Wednesday, Keisha and I do have our Prime episode out, Love is Blind season 12 finale. And then next week, we're not getting a screener for the reunion. They don't do that. So that's a little stressful because like when it comes out, you got to like take the notes right away and try to get it out that night or whatever. So I don't know what time it's dropping, but once they say that, I'll let you know what time that'll be coming out on our end. And don't worry, we've got our outfits ready for the weddings. Yes. Got our outfits ready. We always have to dress up. And then on Thursday, I have on my Pop and Bravo episode, I have Casey Wilson.
I saw that. I'm so excited. I
can announce it because it already happened.
Amazing.
Yes, it was great. It didn't get canceled or anything. It was wonderful.
You're going to keep rubbing that in.
Yeah, I'll just keep bringing that up. Yeah. And so it was great. I love talking to her, and she's exactly as funny and warm as you want her to be. And she's great. Good. So her husband's birthday was the 20th and my birthday is the 21st. And then her birthday is the 24th.
Look at that.
Look at that. So it's interesting because she's very much into Scorpio, where I am the 21st, which is on the cusp. And like John Hill is the 22nd. So he's like actually the cusp. So he's really more Scorpio than Libra. Anyway, it's interesting. If you get real close to October 22nd, then you're cuspy, and I'm cuspy. Yeah.
I don't know what it means to be Scorpio.
I don't either.
I just know people use it as an excuse for a lot of
bad behavior,
character flaws.
Right. But I am cuspy with Scorpio, but I've got zero Scorpio in me. I am all Libra.
But you never say, I can't help it. I'm Libra. That's what I hate.
No, I never say that. I just say,
but you should say, I can't help it. I have a weird spot on my brain.
I've already forgotten about that. Probably it's the spot made me forget. The spot made me forget that I have a spot on my brain. I haven't done anything to make it better. I have been getting better sleep though.
Okay.
So that's going to help the spot on my brain, I was told.
That's great.
I found just the right mixture of medications to knock myself out.
Perfect. I love that.
It's a half a trazodone and a Benadryl.
Mm-hmm.
That'll do it.
I love a trazodone.
It'll knock you right out. Keisha told me one time when she was in a time in her life where she was like sick or something that she would take 5 trazodone to go to bed.
I heard you guys talking about that and my mouth dropped. That is a lot.
Crazy.
I mean,
It's a
everyone's
lot.
body reacts differently.
Yeah.
I'm very sensitive to sleepy stuff.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't take that's so much
I know. I know, but I
or
mean, it's
whatever
just
she needs,
it was
as
she
long as you're
does
safe.
now she
Just be
takes 2.
safe.
Now she takes 2.
Okay, good.
Oh,
That's
wow.
better.
Yeah. She was like, "It tastes a dart to the neck," to
Yeah.
put her out put her out. But everybody, if you are, follow Keisha on Instagram, it's her birthday as well. Now, she said it was Mary Cosby, that's our queen of Salt Lake City. She
Is
said
it?
it was her birthday, but my research shows it's not.
Since when are we calling Mary Cosby our queen? I did
She's
not I'm not part of that kingdom.
she is so funny. She
She
is
is
so
so terrible.
I know. That's why she's funny. Okay, speaking of, I wanted to tell you one more, Housewives thing, then we'll get on to our recap, is, on the new Real Housewives of New York. Are you watching? Okay. So there's a lady, a housewife, her name is Raquel, and she is engaged to a woman named Mel. Mel, her fiance, is a forensic neuropsychologist.
Ooh, that
So
sounds interesting.
so basically I looked it up and basically all you are is a expert witness. That's what you do. That's all you do. And so what I was trying to explain it to whoever, and I was like, for what I read, it means that say it's the Menendez brothers.
Mhm.
She goes in and goes through all the years of therapy that they had, studies it. She talks to them herself, and then she talks to any like other current psychologists, therapists, whatever, psychiatrists that have met with them, and then she comes up with her opinion based on the evidence. Is this person uh, yes, from the evidence from talking to them myself, yes, they do have schizophrenia, which could cause them
Mhm.
to, murder their family or whatever. But
Mhm.
it's like I was like, whoa, that's a heavy job.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. No wonder Mel's got to ride those motorcycles. They belong to like a Bucati motorcycle club. I was like, oh, it's a rich motorcycle club.
Did you
Just
say Bucati?
Bucati,
It's
Ducati.
yeah.
Bucati is something else, and I think it's bad.
It's very close to a word that we learned on the show on Dateline because someone said it on the stand and Dateline had to bleep it out and neither of us knew about it and we got
Please tell me
it's
what it
something
is.
gross. It's
Uh-huh.
I I think it's bukkake
Mhm.
and I think it has to do with sex and butts,
Okay.
poo something. I don't know exactly,
Okay,
but
okay, okay,
I think it's something I'm not into
okay,
and
got it.
Can't so they bleeped it, but you could see his mouth. And so
Okay.
Katie and I were both just this was like when we started the podcast. I don't know what were they saying? What were they saying? Hundreds of DMs, messages, comments of people telling us what it was. And then because people listen to our old episodes, sometimes we still get messages that just say Bukkake, it's Bukkake, don't Google it. To this to this day.
One time, John said about Anna, or Anna said it about herself, that she had chode toes, and I didn't know what that meant. I was like, "What does that mean?" They're like, "Don't look it up, don't look it up." And chode, I guess what I found out means, like, short, square, tiny penis,
Oh, god.
like a stumpy penis.
Yeah.
And
That's
I
a
was like, "Ew, who came up with that to describe your toes?" And they were like, "Mom, quit talking about
yeah,
it."
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, the forensic neuropsychologist and
Okay,
Chode
it
and
doesn't have to do with poo, though. I
what
just
is
looked it up.
okay, bukkake is
It has to do with another bodily function, um,
okay.
and your face. So,
Okay, got it. And then what does bukkake mean?
nothing. You just combine the 2. It's when
Dukkha.
you're riding a Ducati and you're getting a bukkake at the same time. It takes a lot
Ah,
of coordination because the girl is on a Ducati and
you
then
know
the
what?
guys are on
No.
other Ducatis. You're
Mm.
gonna kill somebody. That's the kind of street racing I want no part of. Any street racing, really.
You guys, we're recording this at night, and I'm just so tired. And it's on night for Kimberly. Kimberly is rejuvenated. She went out and bought some birthday decorations. She went to PT today. She's feeling great.
Yeah. No,
That's
he hurt me so bad, I had tears in my eyes.
oh, I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, it's fine.
Oh, yeah.
Um, yeah, don't look up
I'm not
anybody's.
going to look up any of those things.
Yeah.
We are doing the bathroom remodel, so we're kicked out of our bedroom. So I'm going to sleep in John's room, and Dave is sleeping in the guest room, and there is crap everywhere in this house. It is such a mess, but it still is not as bad as the gross story I'm going to tell on Friday's show.
Oh my gosh. You're
Okay.
building it up a lot. I'm
Oh,
very
get ready.
excited.
I can't even make it as I can't even explain how bad it is. It's so disgusting.
Okay,
Okay.
I'm so
So if
excited.
I have to know about it, all of you have to know too. Okay.
Yes.
Before the 90 days, season 7, episode 8, For Whom the Bell Tolls, It Tolls for Me. For Whom the Bell Tolls is a famous book written by someone, and that's what we're doing. I don't actually know who it's.
Faulkner?
No,
No.
that is Sound and the Fury.
Mm.
Mm. For Whom the Bell Tolls, we're going to say
Hawthorne.
Ernest Hemingway.
Hemingway. You're right.
Was that right?
Yeah, Hemingway. You're right.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Sometimes it comes back to me, guys. Okay, let's start with Vanya and Bojo. So at one point she did call him Boja, but that was wrong because he refers to himself as Bojo and his mother says Bojo. So I'm not going.
Boja would be their couple name. Or Boja. or Van Jo.
Vanjo is kind of cool.
Yeah.
So she's getting off her plane. I guess she's in Germany. She's making her connection to Split to Croatia. She got 10 minutes to make her connection. She's in 5-inch heels. That's your own problem.
That is your fault.
You shouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
And she remember like when Darcy and Stacy would travel and their like ankles and feet would swell up so much.
Yeah.
Like what? Your feet swell when you travel, girl.
Yeah. This is a
Yeah.
horrible idea. I would go barefoot at that point, even though that's disgusting.
To run.
To
'Cause you get
run
run. Yeah.
in the airport.
But by the way, her bag's never going to make it. So it's like, who knows where her bag's going to be.
Yeah.
So she has 10 minutes to make her connection. The gates aren't close together. She's in her 5-inch heel. She doesn't make it. She still hasn't heard from Bojo. And she's running through the airport Blair Witch style with her camera because they've told her she has to film everything. And she's like, yeah. So she gets there and her flight's closed. So she's got to get on the next flight. So it's not a great travel day for Vanya.
That is what happened to me on the way to CrimeCon. Exactly. Except I started crying and they opened the gate.
You did?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I never cry ever. I don't cry in public. I don't cry in private. I am highly medicated.
Say, I don't
But
cry either.
I cried. Because I had already switched airports that day because of
Oh.
weather had canceled flights. So I
yeah.
had to switch airports and then I switched terminals and then the gate was closed.
And you just couldn't take it another minute. I get it.
It was too much. Yeah.
You get it. So anyway, now we go 24 hours earlier in Split, Croatia. Now we get some slow-mo basketball shots of Bojo. And he says, I'm not even 6 feet, but I play basketball semi-pro. And if you're small, you have to be fast, strong, and versatile. And I'm not those things, but I'm very good at smack talk. That's funny.
I right away was raising my eyebrows. I was like, what does semi-pro mean exactly?
We don't have that league here.
This sounds made up.
It sounds like after college, you pull up your bros and be like, rec league, we're semi-pro. Come on. Yeah. So we see him walking around town. Everybody knows him. And he says, oh, I feel like a stray dog. Everybody pets me and feeds me. It's great. Everybody loves him in the town. And he goes, I'm funny and people say I have a big heart and I'm a hopeless romantic and I want a relationship with my soulmate. Like who doesn't want that? I had a big love, but I put my sport semi-pro rec league sport first. I never took
That's what I hear about the minor leagues in baseball. It is torn apart families because I'm just kidding. It is very cool to be minor league. I'm not even saying making fun of it. It's just really funny to hear him say that he put that first.
Well, we find out later that maybe that's not even true. And that's why we're making fun of him.
Maybe
and he says,
Brian put his rugby, semi-pro rugby first.
But he didn't. He put every single woman in the world ahead of that because he's had so many.
Yeah, you're right.
Wives and fiancés. So he says, he was with this woman for 6 years. He never took her on a trip. He never celebrated a special occasion. And she broke his heart, but it was his fault. So that you should have led with that. It was my fault. but my heart was broken.
I
So,
was very impressed by the accountability.
yeah, yeah. So he says he met Vanya on an app. And by the time, they got together, that she was gone. And he says her photos are incredible. There's an ocean of beautiful things about this lady. And they've been talking for 8 months. And even when they froze the relationship and they were still wonderful, and the producer goes, "Wait, why did you freeze the relationship?" He goes, "Oh, I was trying to get back together with my ex. But she was still wonderful." And he says, "But it's for the best. I didn't get back with the ex." So if I was Vanya, I'd be like, "What? How many
Like,
times you gonna
am I second place kind of thing.
Yes, totally. So in the talking head, he says, "I'm most comfortable when I'm telling jokes." And then he lists off a bunch of 90s comedians, 80s, he's like Steve Martin, Eddie Murphy, Martin Short. He's like,
He
the
said
only
Martin Lawrence too.
Martin Lawrence. He's like, Martin.
Martin.
And he says, the only difference between them and me is they don't live with their mom. Ah, he tells that joke a few times.
Yeah.
He loves to live with his mom and his aunt because he gets all the neighborhood gossip. Now,
That I loved because that's why I go visit my parents in the retirement community.
so funny.
I
So
love
funny.
the old people gossip.
You
Who's
get
mad
all
at
the
who?
scoop.
Yeah,
Yes.
I love it.
Who didn't show up for bridge and they
Mhm.
didn't get a sub and the whole game was ruined.
Mhm.
And he says he loves it. And he says, but, by living with my mom and my aunt, I've become like an old rusty Cadillac. Like nobody wants to date him or whatever. And he goes, and my mom and my aunt, they pray all the time. They pray I'm going to find a wife. They pray all the time. And, my mom would be thrilled about Vanya, but she doesn't know Vanya exists. And they ask him why, and he doesn't explain it. He's like, I don't know, just didn't tell her. Now we find out. So we're at home with the mom and the aunt, and they're in his room, like making up his bed and putting his like underwear away.
Yeah,
He's
that
being
was
a
concerning.
38 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Well,
he's like,
he's too
yeah,
busy playing semi-pro. He's probably never there. He's on tour, whatever they call it.
he's literally
Travel.
going to the rec league field
Yeah.
and playing basketball for 1 hour a day. So the aunts are like, oh, today when we were at church, we prayed, he finds a girl and gets married. Oh, God willing, God willing. Now, why do they think the cameras are there? It's always a question when one person in the scene knows why the camera is there and the other people don't know, allegedly.
That show on MTV that was like where moms would set up their sons. Do you remember that show?
No, but it sounds right. It sounds like a TLC show, actually. Yeah.
Exactly.
Mhm.
And the moms had to pick their date for them and stuff.
Uh-huh.
So maybe something like that.
Okay. I think they think it's a dating show and they're just
Mhm.
getting some B-roll of him. And that's
Mhm.
why the mom and the aunt are like, thank God he's finally gonna found a girl on
Yeah,
this dating show. Yeah.
like The Bachelor,
Yes.
Croatian Bachelor.
Mhm. Yeah. So outside, he says, no, I haven't told my mom yet about Vanya because she's going to push too much and it's going to get her hopes up. And we don't know if it's even going to work out. She'll start planning the wedding and calling all her friends, and then her hopes will be up for nothing. And then she's going to put too much pressure on us. And I need some time to tell Vanya some things that I'm not ready to deal with.
Oh boy.
Okay.
But she
Now,
sounds like a Jewish mother. I can relate.
just so into the business, just so busybody.
When is Kimberly going to find someone? She's not.
Mm,
We're all going to die alone. Yeah.
yeah. Well, that's how my family was too. It's like a Southern thing, but because you're not married by year 22, you just
Yeah.
move out of the country.
The shame.
Shame.
Mhm.
So he and his mom go to mass, and they're walking out, and oh, that was a nice mass, whatever. I think they're all exactly the same.
Yeah.
And they stop by the market. They're looking at some clementines.
I was gonna
Clementines.
say
Clementine.
my boss
Clementine.
would always say Valentine's Day, and it was
Uh,
very funny. So that's what yeah, very cute.
Clementine.
Mhm.
And so in the talking head, they talk to the mom, and mom says, he's my first son, and I worry so much because number one, I'd
She
like
said,
to,
"My first son," so there is brothers.
there's got to be other
Okay.
kids. Yeah. Um, and she says, I worry because I want him to get married and have a family. But I mean, really, she's like, I would like to use that as a craft room. I'd like for him
Mhm.
to get out.
Mhm.
I want him to get married and have a family. She goes, I think he needs psychology, which sounds like he probably does. Um, Now at the market, he's like, okay, mom, I have to tell you like why these cameras are here for real now. I've met a nice woman. Her name is Vanya, and she's like, oh, she's so excited. He goes, she's from Bosnia. Oh, well, she lives in Orlando. He didn't even say Florida or United States. This is Orlando. Like it's
Yeah,
like saying Rome, like everybody would know,
yeah, maybe if
like
everyone does know
Paris. Yeah.
Orlando.
She lives in Orlando and she's about to be here. She's coming to visit for 3 weeks. She's coming here for 3 weeks. She's a wonderful person. She's very hardworking. She's full of energy. And the talking head mom says, thank God.
Mm,
She says, I want this to work out. He would be a great father and a great husband. He just needs some help. I would love for Vanya to help him find himself. That's never good. Never
Also,
good.
does she know that Vanya is in her 40s now?
He's going to
Early
be,
40s.
well,
But
so is Tiger Lily, by the way, and that's about to come up too about their family planning.
yeah,
So
well, I
stupid.
want so many babies with you, Tiger Lily. I'm like, she's 43. Can we stop putting this pressure
She's
on these
already got
kids?
2 kids. She doesn't want any
Yeah,
more kids.
she's done.
So then mom says, this is so wonderful. I'm so happy. This is going to be everything. Now, does she know you don't have a job?
Yeah,
That you do not work?
the mom flipped her attitude real quick.
And he goes, well, she knows I play basketball. And mom goes, that's for recreation. That's like me going, well, he knows I go to Pilates twice a week. So what? Which I don't, by the way. And mom goes, that's for recreation. And he goes, well, I didn't think I needed to tell her that. And mom goes, yeah, this is a basic thing that you're going to need to discuss.
Yes.
Let's be real. Cleaning your house is the worst. It is the worst, but it doesn't also have to be toxic. Meet Branch Basics, the only non-toxic, all-natural, plant-based cleaning products that are also seriously effective. Branch Basics is safe for your skin, your pets, and safe for your children. It's so safe you can even wash your fruits and vegetables in it. You guys, when my kids were little, they would do things like lick the floor. And Lord knows my dogs are always rolling around on the floor, licking bowls and everything else. And I need my products to be safe for my doggies and back in the day for my kids. And maybe the best part about Branch Basics is you no longer have to have 47 different cleaning products. You guys, I looked under my counter to replace all my products with Branch Basics. And why do I have so many things? Branch Basics has created a super concentrated formula that works for everything from dishes to laundry to countertops. You guys, you can say goodbye to the smell of bleach and hello to a fresh home. For a limited time only, my listeners will get 15% off and free shipping on the premium starter pack when you use code PINKSHADE at branchbasics.com/pinkshade. So 15% off and free shipping at branchbasics.com/pinkshade and use code PINKSHADE. You guys, what it comes with is all these different bottles and they have a fill to line and you fill the water to that line and then you put the concentrate in there. They have an all-purpose bottle, a bathroom bottle, a streak-free bottle that's for your mirrors and your windows, a foaming wash bottle that's for your hand washing, your dishes, your pets, and a laundry bottle. So you fill it up to where it says with water and then you fill it up with their concentrate and whatever is the amount they tell you, that is the perfect amount for what you're doing. It is completely genius. And one concentrate bottle is up to 13 refills. Okay. So you don't even have to buy the concentrate that often. You guys, it's a genius product. Why didn't anybody think about this before? I'm loving it. That is all that is under my kitchen counter now for all my cleaning products. That's it. So their premium starter pack will replace every cleaner in your entire house, including your laundry. It's all natural concentrate free of fragrance, hormone disruptors, and harmful preservatives. It is human safe, non-toxic, plant and mineral based, and biodegradable. Also, if you suffer from eczema, allergies, or asthma, you should make the switch to Branch Basics. You guys, it's going to be great for your house. And once you run out, the only thing you need to repurchase is the concentrate and the oxygen boost because they've given you all the bottles that have the little lines on them for the refills. So you no longer have to wear a hazmat suit when you're cleaning up. You're welcome. For a limited time only, head to branchbasics.com/pinkshade. Use code PINKSHADE for 15% off your entire order and free shipping. That's 15% off branchbasics.com/pinkshade and use code PINKSHADE. Choose Branch Basics because cleanliness matters. This message is sponsored by Greenlight. A new school year is starting, y'all, and personally, I cannot believe that I no longer have a kid in elementary, middle, or high school. It breaks my heart, you guys. This is my first year. I'm not doing carpool and whatnot. But if you're a parent, you want to make sure this new school year has an opportunity for your kids to learn important life skills and continue building that independence. And for that, I recommend Greenlight. You guys, I told you my kids used Greenlight cards when they were little, recommended by producer Ingrid, and it was a life changer. Greenlight is a debit card and money app for families where kids learn how to save, invest, and spend wisely, and parents can keep an eye on the kids' new money habits. You can also help kids get into their fall routine more easily than ever with the chores feature that lets you assign chores and automate allowance. That's rewarding kids for getting things done around the house. And this was huge for us. If you want even more out of Greenlight, you can upgrade to Greenlight's Infinity plan. Greenlight Infinity includes the same access to financial literacy education that makes Greenlight a valuable resource for millions of parents and kids, plus built-in safety to give you peace of mind. With Greenlight Infinity, the teens can check in without needing to actually check in, thanks to that family location sharing. Oh, we all need that. They can also call for help when they need it with SOS alerts that connect them to family members, 911, or both. There's even a feature that detects car crashes and will connect your young drivers to 911 dispatch and alert emergency contacts if needed. You guys, that is so valuable in today's world with our teenagers. I know we're also worried all the time. No matter which features make the most sense for your household, Greenlight is the easy, convenient way for parents to raise financially smart kids and for families to navigate life together. Sign up for Greenlight today and get your first month free when you go to greenlight.com/pinkshade. That's greenlight.com/pinkshade to try Greenlight for free. Greenlight.com/pinkshade. Thank you. So now he tells us the truth. He tells us he did play basketball professionally or semi-professionally, but he was eventually replaced by taller and
Mhm.
better players.
Yeah.
And that's what happens. Also, I
Yeah.
told you when we first talked about this, I was like, being 38 as a basketball player is rough unless you're LeBron James,
Mhm.
you know?
Yeah.
And he was replaced by better players, taller players. And he says, she's so hardworking and I'm nowhere near that. And it
So
makes me
what does he
feel
do all day?
everybody in the town knows him. Somebody would like let him work at the bakery. Like, you don't have to have like a great job, just have a job.
He's
What do you,
very personable, and he could be a delivery guy for someone, like, he
yeah,
knows everybody.
yeah. Yeah. So he says she's so hardworking and he's nowhere near that. And it makes him feel like less of a man. And he worries that he won't be good enough for her.
You
Get
have
a,
time. You had time to get a job.
get a job. Get a job and play basketball on the weekend like a regular person.
Yeah.
So I think with mom saying like he needs a woman to like help him be a better man. Well, why haven't you forced this man to get a job?
No, totally. You are doing his laundry for him at 38 and letting him
Yeah.
live in your house,
Yeah.
which
I
is
don't
fine, but it's obvious he's not paying you rent or anything.
He says there's some things I need that I'm not ready to deal with. Is that the fact that he doesn't have a job and he hasn't told her, or is there something else? A secret?
Right. Secrets.
I don't know.
I mean, he seems really nice,
He does. But
but
you
I've
know who
been
else?
let down so many times.
You know who else seemed nice at first?
Yeah.
Big Ed.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's move on. This is heavy on the Mary Payne this week, by the way.
Mhm.
Sunny and Vea. Okay. So they're laying in the bed and they're looking at the ocean from the hotel in Durban. Durban looks great.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like anywhere with an ocean though, so I'm kind of,
Mhm.
you know.
Mhm.
Vega's from Orlando too. If Vea and Vanya could get together in
Yeah.
Orlando, they could have a
Mhm.
90-day meetup.
Mhm.
So they're looking at the ocean and they did not have sexy times last night. But the producer asked her, was there any foreplay? And she was like, there was maybe one play, which is kind of funny. And they chat in the bed and then they decide they're going to go to the beach and he goes to get her a chai. I always say it wrong. Chai.
How do you say it?
Sometimes I'm like, kai, chai. I don't know. I'm always afraid I'm saying
Tea?
it wrong too.
Tai Chi?
Chai tea chai. So it's chai tea. He goes to get her. And they're going on a gondola ride. So real quick when he's gone, she FaceTimes Rory and he's like, oh, where have you been? I haven't heard from you. And she goes, oh,
Is he still at the airport?
well, I was like, anybody got a pulse check on Rory?
Yeah. I
Anybody
was
check
glad
in?
to see that he's alive.
And so they're ready to talk. totally different hotel. She did not know. She thought they were going to the same hotel. Because she was like, we're actually at a different hotel. So, and he goes, well, I haven't heard from you. And she goes, I feel so bad and guilty. I haven't told him anything about you being here. And Rory goes, yeah, he's going to feel like you're hiding things for him and he's going to feel disrespected. And it's getting bad. Like she hasn't even been there 24 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, it's wrong not to tell him. She's like, I know. I just, So in her talking head, she's like, today's the day. You only got there last night, but it's not like it's been like 3 weeks. She said, today's the day. I have to tell him. And I do worry when I tell him it'll be the end of the relationship because apparently he flips out and has a temper that we haven't seen until now because he seems so sweet.
Mm-hmm.
So they're driving and she's like, please stop. There's a coconut on that tree. Please stop. Will you get me that coconut? He's like, what? It's like, I mean, have you ever left Florida? By the way, there's probably coconuts in Florida, right? There's palm trees there.
Yeah, but not all palm trees. Like we have palm trees here, but we don't get coconuts.
Oh, okay.
Because there's different kinds of palm trees. I just learned this recently.
Oh, okay. All right. The learning channel. It's the Kimberly channel.
Mm-hmm.
So I've learned several things from you today. Some I wish I
Mm-hmm.
didn't know. And so the talking head, today's the day. So they're driving. She says, stop, there's a coconut. And then on the talking head, he says, I just want to show her everything there is here. But as far as like us, being close, I'm feeling a bit shy. These are people that literally get naked and take showers together and do phone sex.
I know. But in person, this is how you respect someone's boundaries when you've just met them, Brian.
Yes. I just think it's interesting because I've just, I never dated in the age of computers or anything like that.
But a lot of people on the show say that like you can be very intimate on camera or on phone chat, but then when in person it's like suddenly weird and awkward.
Yeah.
That's what people say. So it makes sense.
So I have to tell you, every time I look at myself on the screen, this camera light, I don't know what it is. I look like I'm yellow. I don't know what the hell. Is that better?
I think you look fine.
35
you have
minutes.
an Elizabeth Taylor filter.
I can make it worse.
These have always brought me luck.
I'm gonna turn you guys. This is just a little sidebar. I'm gonna turn the filter way up and look what it does. It's crazy. It blurs your whole face out. Can you see now? My whole face is blurred out. Isn't that crazy? Yeah, I don't do that. I put it all the way on the lowest, very subtle, not very strong. Okay. Yes,
cool.
Blur your whole face out, girl. Yes, blur your whole face. Nobody needs to see it. Okay. All right. So back to these two. Sorry, guys. That was a sidebar. These are just fun things that happens when you watch the video. It's on YouTube. Okay. So they hold hands and they're looking at the ocean. They're like, is it okay? Can I hold your hand? And they're going on a gondola. But thank God, I was like, they're looking at the ocean and they're going on this gondola. I was like, is that thing going in the ocean? It doesn't look ocean ready.
No.
But no, it was like a little canal or something. And she's like, this is so pretty. It's so romantic. And he says, on the internet, we felt comfortable together, but now in person, it kind of feels weird. And she says, it does. It does feel kind of weird. And she says, but I'm comfortable. I feel really happy. And they giggle and he kisses her under the bridge. And because he's like, 1, 2, 3, we're going to kiss. And they kiss. And so in the talking head, she says, I want to come clean with him, but I don't want to run our cute moments together. Did you notice that? Yeah, she did. And they hadn't put any closed caption under her before that, but just for that, they did.
Oh, gosh.
It says, I don't want to run our cute moments together. I love when they do that, when they don't have the words underneath until they say something real stupid and they want to make sure you caught it. Yeah. And 2 hours later, we hear him going, what the fuck, Vea? And then we see a blue screen of death. During a break in filming, s7e8 saw a picture of Rory on Vea's phone during their travels. So we hear him screaming and he's like, you brought your ex here. You are out of your mind. And she's like, no, don't run away from me, s7e8. And he says, I don't want to see your fucking face.
Wow.
Whoa.
I want you to shave those eyebrows, s7e8.
We just need one quick wax strip right up the middle. We'll do a good job there.
I wonder when he gets angry, like if some people get like the temple veins popping.
Yeah.
If they get it, he gets like an eyebrow popping.
No. I can't believe he could see, really. So she is like, listen, I brought Rory for support. You have to listen to me. Like, I had never been out of the country and I didn't tell you because I knew that you would flip the fuck out. And she goes, I was going to tell you tonight. I was just trying to find the right time, but we're just friends.
I know, she's so loud. Only dogs can hear her. And me. Sometimes I put it on mute because it's just so too
Her
much.
voice doesn't bother me as bad as it bothers some people.
I
It doesn't like.
I think it bothers me the most because I've only heard a couple of your listeners mention it, so I feel
Yeah,
badly.
I've heard other people mention that they don't like
Okay.
the voice, but it doesn't. Yeah. So Sunny's like, do I look dumb to you? You're making me feel dumb. And she was like, I could be with Rory if I wanted to. We live in the same country. Well, you live in the same town. She goes, I came all the way here to see you. I don't want to lose
I
you.
don't think they live in the same
you.
town.
You don't think he lives in Orlando?
No, because when he came, he said it like, "Oh, the dog. You think he remembers me?" So I think it had been a while.
Mm. Or maybe he just stays away
Maybe
from
they
her.
just don't see each other that
Yeah.
much. Yeah.
So she's like, I don't want to lose you. I came here for you. And she's like running after him.
Yeah.
And he
The
says,
camera crew is trying to keep
yeah,
up.
you see like the three guys in the car
Yeah.
go George running. And he says, go fuck yourself. Go back to the US. Whoa.
Deserving?
No, I don't like that language like that.
I don't like the language, but I think his anger is justified.
Yeah. But he's like, go hug your ex. Like he's like 7. You know?
Yeah.
So Jasmine and Gino, I know you are, but what am I?
Yeah.
So in the talking head, she says, we were sitting on the steps and I was texting and he's like, who are you texting? And then he just snatched the phone out of my hand. It's a disaster. So
yeah, that does sound very weird behavior that he snatched the phone out of her hand. That was what Andre did to Libby one time, and people are still talking about it.
Didn't bother me. So it didn't.
When Andre did it or when Sonny did it?
When Andre did it, it didn't bother me. I thought it was kind of hot.
You guys thought, yeah, you like that caveman sort of behavior.
Yeah. So in the car, they get in the car because they're just both like facing out the window, and because they have to, because they're production band. And she goes, Sonny, I only brought my ex with me so he could fly with me. We're not going to be like hanging out together or anything. And he says, no, now we have a trust issue. You didn't tell me. And she goes, I was looking for the perfect moment. So he's all mad. He's like, you don't have any shame. You don't have any sympathy for me and for what I'm going through. And his talking head, he goes, I can't trust her. If I can't trust somebody, it makes me wonder, what am I doing with this woman? I was like, oh, wow. He's way madder than I thought he was going to be.
Yeah.
He's, I think, a smidge overreacting.
I mean, she brought a whole other person with her.
He's at another hotel. They don't have to hang out. They can just, by the way, I mean, she never had to tell him.
Well, it would be on TV. Otherwise, she could have maybe hid it from production. She could have had Rory be at the airport and
just go with her.
TLC would not know who he was. And she only has to film herself when he goes to the bathroom on the plane. She really could have kept this all off the air.
Yeah.
But to me, it's not the fact that she brought him even. It's just the lying. Like, that's the shady part. It's starting it off on a lie.
Well, she knew if she told him beforehand, he would say either don't come or don't bring him. And she needed him as like a security blanket. But I mean, again, she had those perfectly lovely friends that could have gone with her.
Mm-hmm.
So, because TLC's paying for it. So,
yeah.
So back at the hotel, he's telling her, he's like, you lied. I don't trust you anymore. And she says, come in the bathroom and shut the door. Did you think that was weird? Because she goes in the bathroom and she's like changing clothes. And she says to him, come in the bathroom and shut the door.
Because she didn't want the cameras to see her change? Or does she think they can have a private conversation in the bathroom?
I think she thought we'll have a private conversation in the bathroom. I think that's what she thought.
She doesn't know how mics work.
Or she was going to throw it on the bed or something. I don't know. Anyway, they're just going to put a boom mic.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So he goes, no. So in her talking head, she's like, yeah, I feel like I messed everything up. Yeah. So he grabs
how she talks.
Yeah. So he grabs all his stuff, like a suitcase and everything, and leaves. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
I was like, he's out of there.
He's really mad.
So the producer, he's putting his stuff in his car, and the producer says, "Why are you leaving?" And he goes, "There's nothing here for me now. There's no reason to be here. I'm going home. You know, I was patient when we had fights, but I've lost my patience. Like, how could she keep a secret like that?" And the reason she came, she came here was to find out if we belonged together. And she broke my heart, and now I just feel numb. And when I tell you that camera zoomed in on that unibrow, it was the camera was it was just like this. It was just right on his right like this, like right on the eyebrows. It was so, and I got a real good look at it. I was like, okay, it does go in the middle and down the nose. Like
Yes.
we've
When
got
they
some
were
work to do.
cuddling in bed, that's when I saw it really strongly for the first time, and I was just shocked. It's so much stronger than I thought it was just from last episode.
It's very hairy.
Because I think there's also a mole in the middle
Okay.
or
Okay.
a freckle,
Yeah.
and that's darkening that area too, so it
Mm,
makes it look even more like it's almost it's almost like a widow's peak
yes.
down his nose.
Yeah. Oh, we need to check out his Instagram and see if he's gotten that fixed. I'm sure he's
Yeah.
gotten some feedback.
He's adorable. Like,
He does have beautiful eyes. He
just
really does.
just fix it. Yeah.
Yeah. And so he says, this thing has fucked me up for a long time. And back in the room, the producer asked her, "Are you guys broken up now?" And she's like, "I don't know." So wah, wah.
Oh my
She's
god.
like,
I
Debbie
feel
Downer.
like I ruined this whole thing. You did.
Oh, you
I
did.
feel like that is ruined before it even started. It is.
Yeah.
What could I have done differently? You could have done everything differently.
Told the truth.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So that's it. Let's move on to one of two most hated men ever to hit our screens, and that's Brian and Ingrid. This guy. Can you believe this week when I was like last week, I was like, I didn't know who he was talking to. It was like a friend that was like around his age. It was his sister.
His sister.
So weird.
I didn't know he had a sister.
Weird.
And why would he have this conversation with his sister?
Mhm.
So Ingrid is explaining to producers what happened the night before, how he didn't have a condom and she refused the oral history lesson because she was uncomfortable. He got upset and left. And
Mhm.
she says, you know, that is more intimate to me than regular sex, and I
Mhm.
didn't feel ready. And he reacted in a way I did not like. He didn't have any patience. He didn't try to make sure I felt comfortable. He just got so overly eager, like he was dying for sex or something. Like he was
But she was doing the
I don't even know how to describe it, like a horny, like teenage boy or something. Like just
yeah. Yeah.
like an animal, like a dog humping. Like, calm down.
It was I liked her imitation though. I'm questioning her choices too, because she keeps going back.
Yeah,
No
she
matter
goes
what he
under
says or
the-
does, she keeps going back to him. I mean,
Yeah.
he can't say anything wrong.
Yeah. So she's like, now I see him differently. He's crude and he's a brute. And I thought, good word choices.
Yeah.
So he's at a barber shop and he's getting his facial hair trimmed. He thinks she didn't want to be intimate with him because he's in a wheelchair and this whole thing was her out. I've thought several times that has outs, like she's getting mad about things because she's just not that into him.
And maybe they are like contractually obligated to continue to film together. Like, I don't know.
Yeah,
know?
or the more episodes she's on, the more Instagram followers she gets.
Yeah.
And so she needs to stick it out.
Yeah.
So he goes to an outdoor cafe, and in an earshot of all the other patrons, he calls his sister Reese, who is in her car, and she is doing very serious like thinker pose. She has her hand.
He is speaking English though, so at least that maybe
people aren't understanding him.
Yeah.
But she's like really. I feel like she fields a lot of calls from him.
I feel like she might be a therapist.
Fucked up. She might be a therapist.
Yeah.
Because that's only
with a brother like that.
His daughter has lost all patience. Like, who would deal with this man calling constantly? I've fucked up another relationship with a young Brazilian woman.
I mean,
my age.
Yeah. She would be like, is it Tuesday? It's time for Brian to call about
Seriously.
another Brazilian relationship he's messed up. Yes.
So he's explaining in earshot of everyone, I didn't have a condom. He never explains why he didn't have a condom. Like,
Yeah,
he
he had
doesn't.
everything else. He had massage oils and lingerie and
What
yeah,
the fuck? Like, he never once thought that he should. It just drives me insane. I just what?
yeah.
He's not embarrassed or thinks he did anything wrong by not having a condom.
No,
Like,
he never addresses that at all to be like,
yeah,
I really messed up by not having that. I
yeah,
thought of everything. I should have thought of that. I really messed. She was right not to want to. No, he's never addressed
no,
that at all. No.
no. And he's again 51. Like, he knows to bring a condom.
Yeah.
So anyway, he tells his sister
Hmm.
at the outdoor cafe that he offered to pleasure Ingrid in another way. And how he started to kiss her belly button and she stopped him.
Hmm.
And the sister says, "Oh, she didn't want you to go down any further." It's like, is this a normal conversation for siblings to have?
Not in my house. No.
Not
Mm,
even with your sister.
not even with my own sister. No. Probably not. Not even with my friend. Maybe.
I
Maybe with a
mean,
friend, but
with a
that'd be
friend, maybe. I have a
yeah.
brother, certainly not talking to him about anything like
Can you
this.
imagine if he called you and was like, "Kimberly, listen to this."
Oh my god, I don't like when they hold hands in front of me, he and his wife. They're married, I don't like it, it grosses me out.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
it's weird. So, he admits that he fully admits, again, and he doesn't seem to think there's anything wrong with it. He said, "What's wrong with you? What the hell? We're done." Like, he did, and if he's sugarcoating it like that to his sister, he probably was using a way angrier tone with
Yeah,
Ingrid.
yeah.
So I didn't like that. And he's like, "I'm done. You're sending me too many mixed signals. You're not going to, we're done." And stormed off like a little man baby. And the sister says, "Brian, you can't act like a caveman or a Neanderthal,"
Mhm.
which again, Mary Payne likes, if it's Andre,
I
but
only like
not,
it if it's Andre.
yeah.
Yeah.
So she's like, for men, she might be a therapist. She said, "I think for men, it's not as sensitive. It's not as intimate. I think men can get a BJ from anybody. It's not that big of a deal."
A
But
bukkake.
that's different.
No?
No.
Wrong?
Yeah.
Wrong? Okay,
Yeah.
shoot. I thought I was using it correctly, sorry.
She's like, "But for me personally, I wouldn't go there with a woman." So she's gay or
Yeah,
bi or whatever,
yeah,
unless we've been together for a while. Like, that is very intimate. And
yeah.
somebody's face is right there. And it's a lot. Again, this is your brother, your brother and sister. I can't
And
get
you're
over this.
in a public place having this
In
conversation.
a
Yes,
cafe.
yes.
She's like, "You might need to be more respectful and look at her point of view." And he says, "I thought I was being respectful by doing this
Offering my
oral."
services,
Yeah,
yes. Yeah.
exactly. And she's like, "You can offer, you can ask, but don't be like, 'Here, I'm doing this. This is my present to you.'" Like, you've got to
Right.
be like, "Do you want this present?"
Yes, right.
And it's very good advice. And so then they're talking and she's like, I mean, the going in that, like, that type of sex is a home run. It's the most. And I was
Yeah.
like, I thought it was third base, but I don't really know my bases.
The bases have changed
Oh, okay.
since back in my day. Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah.
So he's like, "I didn't think about it like that. I'm really glad I called my older sister at an outdoor cafe and talked to her about oral sex. I have learned a lot. That's
I
what
am
sisters are
51
for."
and have
I
been
am
married
51.
4 times and engaged 26, but I just learned something that women don't wanna be pressured into doing something they don't wanna do.
This has been a big learning day for me. What I'm going to do next is call my daughter and ask her for anal advice. I can't with Brian.
Kimberly, that's
So he goes, "That's what sisters are for." No, that's not what they're for.
Oh my God.
Maybe your sister. Reese, can we get Reese on Pillow Talk? She could give all these couples sex
No, because then
advice.
she'd have to be on with him.
I know. You're right. I don't want
What
him
about
on
Reese
there.
and Ingrid? Can we get them on together?
Yes, that
Yes.
would be fine. So she says, I think Ingrid sounds different. It sounds like this could be something. Like unlike all the other 59 women that you've proposed to, she could be serious.
No,
You
I
need
don't think she's
to
different.
go
No.
slow and don't rush this.
Yeah.
And he says, well, I feel badly and I want to apologize. But then he says, something is still off with Ingrid. And she's been standoffish since the beginning. And I still don't think that maybe she's attracted to me. I don't know, Brian. Maybe it's not the wheelchair. Maybe it's the drug dealer thing. Maybe it's your ex-wife set you up for a carjacking thing. Maybe it's the fact that you lied about your age and you're actually her dad's age and then tried to gaslight her about it. Maybe it's the 529,600 other Brazilian women that you have been engaged to.
Maybe
There's
it's
other things.
in the first night.
Yeah,
You tried
maybe it was
to
the catheter thing.
maybe it was in the first night you were like, "Hey, get in the shower with me and help me get a half chub so that I
Yeah.
can put on my catheter
Yeah, and then got in bed with her naked.
naked."
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe it's that.
Maybe it could be other things.
It's fall, y'all, and us fall girlies, we love the smells of fall. We love our pumpkin spice. We love our vanilla coffee. We love our cinnamon, but what we don't love in the fall is BO. You guys, just because it's not summer anymore doesn't mean we don't still have BO. We do, and that's why you need Lumi. Lumi is a whole body deodorant that is seriously safe to use anywhere on your body. Your pits, your underboobs, your thigh folds, your belly buttons, your butt cracks, your private areas, and your feet. Lumi was created by an OBGYN who saw firsthand how normal BO was being misdiagnosed and mistreated. And it's clinically proven to block odor all day and control odor for up to 72 hours. Lumi now has a starter pack that's perfect for new customers. So it comes with a solid stick deodorant, a cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice like the mini body wash and the deodorant wipes, and free shipping. And as a special offer for my listeners, new customers get 15% off all Lumi products with our exclusive code PinkShade. So if you combine that 15% off coupon with the already discounted starter pack, that equals 40% off their starter pack. So use code PinkShade for 15% off your first purchase at LumiDeodorant.com. LumiDeodorant.com, LumiDeodorant.com. Use code PinkShade, and you're going to get 15% off, and the starter pack is already reduced. You guys, I love the deodorant wipes and I love the all over deodorant. You need to try both of these things out and let me know what you liked. Thanks. Yeah.
So now he's going on an apology tour and he's dripping sweat. It must have been very hot. He has like a large hand towel that he's at the restaurant like patting himself down.
He said it was 97 every day. She asked him before they
Oh
started the
yeah,
sex
she
talk.
did
She
say
said,
that.
"How hot is it?" Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds very hot. So he's still going to apologize, but he's really also doesn't think he's completely wrong. He thinks there's something going on with Ingrid and she just doesn't like him. And he thinks, I don't know if I can be in a relationship with someone who's not willing to be intimate with me.
Okay, by the way, let's be reminded that when he's filming this, he is married to another Brazilian woman.
There we go.
Yeah.
Never forget.
Never forget.
So now maybe he's going to keep pressuring her to have sex. I don't know. He's so gross. So then she comes and like they're at this little square table and he scoots his chair over so that he's sitting next to her. I hate that. Just sit on opposite sides. The table is 2 feet wide.
I don't think you need to sit next to each other in a restaurant ever. And I've been to restaurants with my husband before where they put you on like the same side
No,
in
the
like a
booth?
little
No.
booth.
I
So
hate that. No.
So one side is the booth and the other side is like 2 chairs and they want you. I'm like, well, we can't even talk to each other. We have to look to the
No,
side. Like,
my
no,
neck hurts.
we don't
No.
want to. We don't want to sit like that.
I hate that.
Ugh.
Don't sit next to each other. That is red flags.
I
So
agree.
he says, I was wrong, but I just was thinking that you didn't like me because of the wheelchair. And she's like, no, that's not it. It's all these other things. And you're making this into the wheelchair thing. And he says, why did you stop me when I wanted to perform oral on you? Which she doesn't have to explain to you.
Nope. Nope, she
She
doesn't.
can just say, I wasn't comfortable, or she can say nothing at all. She doesn't have to explain.
No.
But he wants an explanation. And she says exactly what the sister said, that it's more intimate for her than just sex. And she wasn't ready. And she was offended by the way he was going on and on about it. And he's like, yeah. And I was like, damn, what a pain. This is supposed to be a present. And I was like, is this how you apologize? Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
like, God, I was trying to give you a present. I'm so annoying. Yeah. We don't want that
He's
present necessarily.
horrible. He's
Yeah.
horrible.
Yeah. And she's like, you should have asked me if I was comfortable instead
Yeah.
of just diving right in.
Would you like this present instead
Yeah.
of, I'm going to give you this present, you're going to like it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So watch Pillow Talk, because Gabe is on it with his sister, and he was so funny. Because the sister's like, I don't care, whatever. And he's like, oh, my sister just wants you to dive right in. It was very funny. So she's like, you've always been respectful in our video calls and stuff. And then when you got here, it's like been one thing after another. And he's like, yeah, I've become a monster. I see that. Like, and then when someone says that, then you have to go, no, you're not a monster. No, this
She
is
didn't, though.
gaslighting 101.
She didn't say, no,
She
you're
didn't,
not.
though. She didn't correct him. No, she's like, monster. So she's like, you've been different for sure. And so then he starts crying, or fake crying. I didn't see any real tears. So he would do good on Dateline, but Katie and I would notice. And he's like apologizing. And he's like, yeah, I should have been more respectful. It's all about respect for me. That's my biggest thing.
I respect you so much that I bought you skimpy underwear and lotions
For
with no condom.
with no condom.
Yeah.
Well, I'm married to this other lady after I lied about my age and my whole life situation. And
Look.
I've respected all of the 17 million women that I've been with.
Remember, I brought your son a truck. Doesn't that count for something?
Yeah.
Come on.
Mm-hmm. So she's like, I feel like we have had a lot of communication issues because he's lied to you. Those are not communication issues.
Yeah.
And, I do feel like he's insecure about the wheelchair, and, maybe that's why some of this is happening. And she's like, we can keep trying and moving forward. Ingrid. So they decide to go on a fun trip to some place where there are sharks. And I was like, I'm rooting for the sharks. And she's like, okay, let's go on vacation. I'll be on TV for a few more episodes and get a vacation out of it. Sure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's what I'm like. I think she's like, he's here. He's going to be here for 2 weeks. I said I would film with him.
Yeah.
So sure. If I'm going on a vacation, sure. She's like, I haven't slept with him yet. I'm not, now I have a reason not to. And he's a dick, but I'm going to go on a free trip.
It kind of gives me vibes of what's the older guy, the very religious guy who left his wife and then went with the 19-year-old girl who lived in the Airbnb with the surfboard on the wall. But then they actually stayed together.
They're married.
See, that's disgusting.
Mahogany,
right? Yeah. She filtered her face to hell. She looked like a doll.
She would be with him. She would say, "Mi confuso."
Mi confuso.
Yeah.
That's the vibe I was getting.
She's on OnlyFans now,
Oh, for sure. And that's probably what she wanted out of it. I don't know why she's still with him. So
I don't either. He's gross.
He's disgusting.
Remember he had the one eye?
He made my skin crawl.
He's like a youth pastor. Was he like a youth pastor?
He was. And he had 5 kids that were begging him not to leave. And he left for this literally 19-year-old. And he thought she was 22 or something. But
sure he did.
And there were bunk beds in her house.
Yeah, she had bunk beds. He was like, why do you have those? He's like, in case my parents come. Your parents in bunk beds? That's the worst that we got going on over here with this construction, and everybody's in a different room. What are you talking about?
Oh my God. Didn't he put glitter on his chest? He put a lotion on his chest that had sparkles in it. Am I just imagining that?
That sounds, it tracks. I don't know.
He was very vain because he kept saying he was like a male fitness model. Yeah, but he had done one local catalog or
He was
something.
an elder male fitness
Yeah.
model for AARP.
It
Listen,
was
no shade. I'm 56
no.
today, so
But
yeah.
he was the epitome of like a midlife crisis. Like he literally
Yes.
left his wife, left the
Yes.
church, left
Mm,
his children
yes.
for a 19-year-old
Yes. Mhm.
in a foreign country.
Yep. Yep. And he's with her now. Um, okay, let's move on to maybe the second worst man on our television. It's a toss-up between Brian and Lauren. It's a toss-up.
Yeah, it
It's a
really
toss-up.
is. Someone
So,
recently asked they messaged me and they were like, "Who would you choose?" And I was like, "I don't think I can." Like or Big Ed. Like Big Ed, Brian, Lauren, like they all make my skin crawl.
no, we do
It's
nothing.
the opposite of Sophie's Choice.
No, we
I
just
do like to have the Nazis take all of them.
wow. Okay.
I know, horrible. Sorry.
Okay.
I'm gonna get
Lauren,
letters.
she's Jewish, y'all. Lauren and Faith. Okay. So they're packing to go to, he says Lite and she says Leta. Late, not like
I'm gonna
Leta,
go with, her on this
Leta,
one.
Leta. She says Leta. So they're packing to go to Leta, and he says, 2 days ago, I told Faith I had gonorrhea. And that's how she found out I had been cheating. So now I have been reset from boyfriend to friends. It's a step backward, but I still have a ring and a dream. I love to smile and say gonorrhea. I'm Lauren.
I think he's gonna, like, brand it, like, put it on T-shirts. Like, "I'm the guy from 90 Day with gonorrhea.
Yeah.
That's my thing."
Yeah. That's his thing. That's his thing. So in the van, they're talking because they're riding to the airport, and he says, "Yeah, I'm still feeling better, and maybe when we're in wherever, I could get a kiss, or I don't know what he said." He goes, You can't get a gonorrhea from a kiss on the cheek or from the ocean." I don't know what he said, but then he said his penis was no longer leaking, so that was good. That's progress. No longer leaking. Okay.
He
He,
said, "No leak from penis."
yeah, it gets worse with his
He's still
speaking.
doing that
Yeah,
speaking
speaking.
thing,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, somebody else was doing it on this episode too. Who did we already talk about? It wasn't Vanya and Bojo,
Brian
and
speaks Portuguese. Thank
yeah,
God. That's
it
the only
wasn't.
good thing about him.
So it must be somebody we're coming up because I noticed it with this other couple too. Okay, so his penis is not leaking. So yay, good news. So in the talking head, she goes, I'm taking Lauren on this trip that we already planned. We're going just as friends, and it's going to take time for me to regain the trust with him. And now I feel a lot less pressure because he's back in the friend zone. So I think that's kind of good for her a little bit because, like, it's her first boyfriend and she felt all the sex pressure. And now she doesn't because she's like, well, he fucked up. So
Well,
I
what
don't feel the
happened
pressure.
is suddenly she has all the upper hand in the relationship.
Yeah.
And
Right.
that's a huge weight off because before she'd been like, I just need to find someone who will take me, like
Yeah.
whoever it is.
Yeah.
And now she has the cards. It's
Yeah.
great.
So they go to her island of Leyte, and he says, "Yeah, I like it here. I'm used to the country feel. I grew up in the country. I don't necessarily love a big city." And he goes, "But Vegas, where Vegas is, that's the desert. And I don't like it. I don't like the desert." And she goes, "Oh, it's the desert?" He says, "Yeah." And then he weirdly says, "But I need get out Vegas now." Why? Why are you talking like that? But I need get out of Vegas now. Okay. You missed a couple words. You
Yeah.
missed a couple of words.
It's so oh gosh.
So then they start talking, which you think they would have already talked about this, that they're both bottoms. He says he's a bottom, and she says she's also a bottom. Now, in a very funny talking head, she goes, "How will we do sex if we're both bottoms? We're both just waiting around for somebody to stick it in." And she looked behind her.
I know. It's so funny.
That I was like, okay, she is funny, and we need more of her.
Oh, for
She's
sure.
funny.
Yeah.
So he goes, "No, I like to be the bottom, but for you, I could do it. For you, I'll do anything. And so,
Yeah. How did they not discuss this? I feel like this is important.
yeah. So they
Also,
arrive.
she's a lady boy. She doesn't that's not how she wants to have sex generally, I would assume.
I assume nothing. And I know too much about the subject from being friends with Matt, but So they arrive in Leyte and they're checking into the hotel, which looks pretty nice, and they have one room. And so she's like, "Oh, we only have one room," and he goes, "Yeah." She goes, "Yeah, I think. Do you have another room?" And so she gets a second room. So in talking head, he goes, "It's frustrating, because I booked this and I don't have a ton of money, but okay, this is what I have to do." And again, like you're saying, she has the upper hand here.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, "But at the end of the day, sleeping in different rooms slows down our partnering process." Okay. I thought you're going to move there forever. You got all the
No.
time in the
Yeah.
world. So he goes to the next morning, he goes to her room and she's getting ready and he like is making up her bed for her. She's like, "What are you doing?" He goes, "I'm making up your bed for her. Actions speak louder than words. Say I'm doing action." Um, Today they are going to a private island. They're not going to meet her family quite yet. She's waiting another day or so to introduce him to her family, which was kind of weird. I was like, I thought the whole point was to spend all this time, but maybe this
Mm-hmm.
private island is like super cool. And she's like, while we're on this side, we should go see it. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. So on the bus to the private island, she says, "Dude, I have like stubble. Did you bring a razor?" And he goes, "Oh yeah, I have one." She goes, "Yeah, yeah, like I look like a girl, but sometimes like, what do you call this?" And she says, "I don't take hormones, but I would like to one day take the hormones, but it's very expensive." The talking head, he tells us
Okay.
that he likes a female penis. And the only way to get that is if the trans woman takes hormones. So Faith's penis has not transitioned into a female penis yet. But of all the things he has to worry about, that's not high on this list. Okay, good. Good. You don't need to worry about her penis. What are you talking about?
Maybe first stop lying to her about everything, and then
And then
get you
maybe,
haven't. I don't think you've even gotten a kiss yet. Have they even No, they haven't
no,
even kissed
she
yet.
won't kiss him because of the gonorrhea.
Yeah, he's already wanting changes to her.
Yeah,
Like, it's so fetishy, like, he's like, "I
it
like it like
is.
this," and she's close to what I've been looking for,
Right.
but not quite, so we're gonna do a little bit of work, and then yeah.
I feel like he found a perfect victim,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, because she has really low self-esteem and thinks that he's the only guy she can get,
Yeah.
and that's so sad, but I did get some hopeful news on Reddit. Well, first of all, the Reddit was lit up with conversations about female penis and what does
Okay.
that mean?
Okay.
So a lot of education happening there.
Yeah.
But also I got her Instagram handle and she's getting a lot of love on Instagram. Still
Good.
not a lot of followers. Like she needs a lot more. But so hopefully she knows that we are rooting for her.
What is her Instagram? Do you remember?
No, but I'll send it to you. I'll find it.
Okay. Okay, we would tell everybody to follow her. So,
Yeah.
okay. All right. Okay. Okay. I got so distracted by the smell of the female penis. Okay. So, they're chatting and he says, "Oh, it's so pretty here. Now, why don't you just live here and work at a resort?" And she goes, "Well, the salary is so much better in Manila and I miss it there. And, my goal in life is to work a lot in Manila and give money to give my mom a good life and get her a good house." And he goes, "Oh, I've
I'm
looked
sorry.
at,
It's just Faith 90 Day.
is it no underscore? No.
Nope. Faith 90 Day.
I am surprised that that wasn't already taken.
I know.
Okay. Um, Okay, and so they talk about the house, and he says, "Oh, so I've looked it up. So a good house here would be like 1,000 pesos, and that's like 2,000 US dollars." And
Mm.
she goes, "Yeah." And he says, "Well, would you want that? Would you like get some money? I could get some money and then buy your family a house, and then you could live in Leyte." And she's like, "What?" And he says, "By American standards, I don't really have much money, but I could save up $2,000 for a house." How? How are you going to work there? You couldn't even find 6 jobs in Las Vegas that could pay your rent. What are you talking about?
He thinks he can come into town and be the neurosurgeon at the hospital just because he's American. He just
Right,
has to show his passport, be like,
right.
"I'm American, bro."
I could fly the planes. I could do whatever you
Yeah.
need, whatever you
Mhm.
need.
Mhm.
So they're on the boat going to the island, and this is when he says, "Can I kiss you on the ear or the neck or the cheek?" And she goes, "No, we are
No.
just friends, and you have to follow the rules of being friends."
Yes, good
So
for her.
very good. She's also like, "Get that gonorrhea mouth away from me."
Exa
That is so gross. I'm sorry.
You haven't said yet the one word that he used to describe what's happening, and I'm just don't know if you skipped it on purpose or pillow talk was ablaze.
What did he say?
Starts with an S.
Semen?
No,
Sperm?
no, worse.
Okay. No, I don't know. Tell me.
He said no sludge from penis.
Oh, yes. And back when we were on that, I was like, oh, he said something here that about the leaking, but I couldn't remember
Mhm.
the word, but because I
Yeah,
didn't write it down, but I remembered there was a word that was gross.
yeah, sludge.
Sludge.
Mhm.
Sludge is not a word that you want used to describe anything in your nether regions.
No. Anything, period. Sludge is always bad. It's like you have a plumber and like the
Right.
pipes have
Right.
sludge in it. Like what? Sludge is
Right.
never a good word.
I'm really ugh, I'm so sick. It's not a great birthday. Okay. So
Happy birthday, Mary Jane. Here's some sludge.
here's
Also,
some
do you see
sludge.
what my thing says under
Yeah.
my name?
Yeah.
Wear a
Wear a
condom,
condom.
folks.
Yeah. I wish I could think of something funny to do each time. Maybe Aaron and I used to do that, and we would laugh so hard at what the other one had done. Maybe I should bring that back. Everybody needs to bring their A game
Mm-hmm.
in the Chiron here. So, all right. So in the talking head, she says, he's always been charming. And he tells me he wants to
Is
help
he
to her,
him?
him. And he says, he says he wants to help my family buy a home. But he might just be telling me something I want to hear, and it's hard
Yes.
and yes, and it's hard to tell if a person is lying, and it's hard to open my heart.
She
So,
needs to look up gaslighting. She needs to look up love bombing.
yeah. Yeah. So, but he didn't have any money to, like, do, like,
A love bomb.
what Louis did to Teresa when she went on the Ultimate Girls Trip. He gave her, like, 7 cards for the 7 days they'd be gone. It's like, open one every day, and it was like this
Oh my God.
love letter and blah, love
No.
bomb, and so he's like, "Oh my god, he's filled up my love tank."
Mm-mm.
All right, speaking of people with bad voices, Tiger Lily and Adnan. So they're getting ready to go to head to the airport. And she's like, yeah, baby, I don't want to go. I am so sad, baby. What was this voice?
It changes constantly, and it's different when she's mad, and it's different when she's in her talking head.
Yep.
It's
hmm
so put on. Like I don't know what her normal voice talk sounds like.
If you were that despondent, it would be hard to put on a fake voice, I would think.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but not for her. So in her talking head, she says, I'm happy to see my children. I haven't seen them in a week, and I'm Adnan's wife now. So it will be hard to leave him. So he hugs her. He says, my beautiful wife, we will have a family and kids, a girl and a boy. Huh? Huh? She's 41. No, you're not going to see each other for a year. How are you going to have a kid?
No.
No, no, it's not happening. Unless you got her pregnant on this trip,
Right.
it ain't happening.
Unless you're shipping your sperm across the
Right.
world, which
Right.
I don't think you can do.
No. So he says, I will come to you soon. And she's crying. And she's like, when are you coming, baby? Because my heart is in 2 places. So he cries and they hug and whatever. So in the talking head, he goes, I can't go to the US yet. I need a green card and a spousal visa, or I could get a tourist visa. Either way, we have to wait for a year. Those are 3 different things, sir. Have you looked into this at all?
Also, where is he getting a year from? It took Mackle like
7.
5 years.
He
7
did that on
years.
purpose, though.
Yeah.
He was purposely failing those tests, let's be
Yeah.
honest. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, even if she applies for the spousal visa the minute she gets home,
Mhm.
and let's assume she's got some sort of fancy lawyer, it's still
Mhm.
gonna be a year and a half.
Yeah,
Still
I would
yeah.
think so.
So, now they're headed to the airport, and Tiger Lily says they're like again, they've got their entourage in the back seat. They've got, favorite brother Thayer, Cruz, and Shay, and they're headed to the airport, and Tiger Lily, they said, "What was your favorite part of the trip?" She goes, "My favorite part was the first day when we first met." So Cruz is like, "Look, you don't have to be sad. You've got your whole life ahead of you, or I
That
can
was
tell
like the
you."
only day they didn't fight, by the way, I think.
Right. And she was in like a skin tight black turtleneck, like
Yeah.
catsuity thing. And he's like, "Oh, sign the
When
document."
was it when she kept him waiting at the airport because she was, got ready on the plane, but then got
3
ready in the
hours.
airport for, like, 3 hours
3
in
hours.
the bathroom?
Yeah. Yeah. If they have to be somewhere at 7 o'clock, he needs to tell her 3 o'clock.
Mhm.
And then
Yeah.
he could take a little nap until
Mhm.
6:30.
Yeah.
So, um, okay. So then Cruz and Shay say goodbye to Adnan and tell him, like, don't worry, we're going to take care of her. And she says goodbye, goodbye, favorite brother there. But no, nobody touches or shakes hands or anything. And she's just bawling, like, I don't want to leave. I don't want to leave you, baby.
She's a pretty crier too. Her face has a lot of things in it that don't move.
No, it didn't move. That's why it's pretty.
And
It
that's
just
why
looks,
it's pretty.
looks,
Yeah.
yeah, it looks like her regular face.
Mhm.
So, and then talking heads, she says, I'm so heartbroken because we don't know when we will see each other again. And that part is scary for me. We're going to be starting a family and have a life in the United States. But without a visa, everything just stops and it's painful. Oh, now you're going to have a family with him? Now? Now you are? Okay. That's not what you said before. Okay.
Mm-mm.
Dry skin, deeper wrinkles, crepiness. These are just a few of the visible signs of aging, something that today's sponsor, OneSkin, knows all about. Now, I'm not super concerned with aesthetics, only mildly concerned with aesthetics, but I do want to keep my skin healthy as I get older. That is why I love OneSkin's topical supplements. They actually help your skin feel and behave younger as you age. OneSkin was founded by an all-woman team of scientists. We love that. OneSkin is the first and only skin longevity company to target these zombie cells, which are a key hallmark of aging with their proprietary OS1 peptide. OS1 is scientifically proven to decrease lines and wrinkles, boost hydration, and help with the thinning skin that often comes with age. Don't just take my word for it. They've got over 4,000 five-star reviews. I mean, 4,001. Okay. 5-star reviews for their full line of face, body, sun, and travel size products. You guys, all of these products I've used, the body, the sun, the topical face, and the eye cream. I just used it about 10 minutes ago. I really, really like it. So for a limited time, you can try OneSkin for 15% off using code PINKSHADE when you check out at oneskin.co. With OneSkin, your skin will stay healthy, strong, and hydrated at every age. And again, you guys, you go to oneskin.co and use code Pink Shade for 15% off. And if they ask you, say, Pink Shade sent me. So they're in a talking head together and he says, baby, I am waiting you. And she goes, I'll be back soon, baby. I mean, I think in the week that they were there, probably they spent a third of that week in front of cameras, another third of that week with 3 other people with them, and only a third of
Mhm.
that time really alone.
Yeah, and the final third, I know that doesn't math. Um, she was getting her hair done. Like
Right. Yeah.
when you literally spend half of your life getting hair and makeup done, there's
I
not a lot
mean,
of time for quality alone time or sightseeing. They saw that one place and then that was it.
yeah, yeah, that's true. So, they kiss and she, heads through the doors at the airport. And I, I saw a meme that somebody posted of her like going through the airport. It says, I hope someone steals her voice box at the airport. What? That is so rude. Um, okay, let's end with Niles and Matilda.
Oh,
Oh,
good.
Niles. Oh, goodness.
Oh, Miss Guided Niles.
Sweet
So
angel.
yeah, for some reason they're having a push-up contest in the hotel room, which was kind of funny.
He's trying to be her trainer. Yeah.
Yeah, he just
Mhm.
says he does this workout routine every morning, and she had said she wants a flat stomach, so he's like, I'll help you." But she's complaining about doing one push-up, so it was very funny.
Yeah.
So then they go out, and he's taking her to the memorial of the first president of Ghana, where he's going to propose again and give her the engagement ring. And
Yeah.
I had thought this was going to be like taking someone to Arlington Cemetery and being like, and now I will propose to you. But it actually was very pretty. And there's like fountains and things like that. So it didn't feel memorial like, you know?
You guys were going to the Vietnam Wall. It's so romantic. There's
Here's
thousands
the
of names.
9/11 memorial,
You
and we
guys,
are gonna stand here, and
it's gonna
I'm
be
gonna propose
amazing.
in front of
Yeah.
all of these
What a
names of
special
people
day
we're
for
lost.
everyone. Yeah.
Yeah. So first he says, I'm gonna propose, but I'm going to tell her there's no wedding on this trip. That's
Mm-hmm.
the plan.
Yep.
But I'm worried because I'm not very tactful, and it might all be ruined. And then so they get there and he says, "Did you read those 20 maxims I sent you?" And at first I was like, "Maxim magazine? What's
I
happening?"
didn't know what it meant. I didn't know if those were pictures or it's
I
like
did
words to
not
live
know
by,
in
you
the
know?
context that he meant. It appears that he has written 20 commandments for himself that he lives
Yes.
by.
Yeah, okay.
This is his creed that he lives by, and he sent them to her when they were getting to know each other, and she did not read them.
She's like,
She
"No, that was too much. It's TLDR." Yeah.
she 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 doesn't give an F. This is when you really see her immaturity. Like their
Yeah.
ages, I don't think are that far apart, but she just is like literally like a teenager. She is
Yeah.
constantly either laughing at like giggling, or she's Zach Morris in Mr. Tuttle's class, and she's so bored and she's like
Yeah.
playing pranks. Like
Yeah.
she
She's
doesn't care.
23. She's
Yeah,
23. Yeah.
yeah, and she acts like it, which is fine. But so he's like, "Let's read them together." Why you would start your engagement like this, whatever.
Yeah.
But also I think she should have read them. If someone sends you 20 rules that they live by,
Yeah.
you could read them.
And by the way, she should have just said, "Yes, I did."
Yeah,
And
exactly.
it saved
At least
everybody a
she's
lot of time.
honest.
Yeah.
She's like,
Yeah.
"No." So he starts to tell he's like, "Okay, let's read them. Slow is right. Right is fast. The time in which it shall happen is right on time. Do you understand?" She goes, "No." It's like they're riddles that a troll under a bridge is giving you so that you can pass, and she cannot
Yep.
pass through because she does not get them.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
He could have just said, like, "Do things at your own time," but whatever, I love it. He loves poetry, like, that's his thing, he writes her poetry and stuff, it's fine. This is how they are mismatched in several
Yeah.
ways, 'cause she
Yeah.
could not care less. She
Yeah.
literally if she's giving the image of chewing gum and leaning back in her chair, like, she doesn't care. So, he explains, "Okay, so I need you to know that I love you and I will be your husband, but I want you to know I love you." And maybe and you're like, "Is he ever gonna say it?"
Yeah.
And then finally, he gets down on one knee and pulls out the ring. So
Yeah.
he's doing the proposal. He's not doing the other part.
No.
So he's like, "This is the symbol that I will come back to you."
Uh-huh.
That goes right over her head,
No.
what
Mm-mm.
that actually means,
She
because
means
she's
come back and
just
get me after the visa is approved. Yeah.
right.
Right.
She's not getting that that means anything, like, this is a promise for, like, later.
Yeah.
It's actually a promise ring, but she's just so excited she has the ring, and they're gonna get married in 2 weeks, and it's all exciting. The
Yeah.
fountains are going off, and it's like
Yeah.
a movie, and she's thinking, "I wish I hadn't acted so bored during those
Right.
maxims."
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
So, he totally forgets to tell her the news, the actual thing about the wedding. So they
Yep.
leave, and they go to a club, which is not really a club. It's more like a restaurant, but there's a band playing, and he puts in his earplugs because he doesn't like the noise. It's too much chaos and stressful for him.
Yeah.
And I wish she hadn't made him go there if he was so uncomfortable, but
Well, he said as far
he
as
said he
clubs
was
go, it was pretty
okay.
mild. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And she said, "Are you okay?" And he said, "I'm okay." So, he orders them drinks that I think are called "Adios Mother Effer," but he doesn't say the effer part, and they're,
Yeah.
like, laughing about it.
But what does
And
he
then
say instead? He says, "Adios, mother
I'm not
something."
saying that last part, and the
Yeah.
waitress,
That's
like,
what I
laughs
said.
at
Yeah.
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 And he's like, they get my sense of humor here. They have a funny sense of humor," and so it's very funny. So then he starts breathing really hard. She's like, "Are you okay?" And he says, "We need to talk about the wedding. I don't think we can do it on this trip." And I was so proud of him, but also, like, it's so terrifying to watch
Yeah.
this moment
Yeah.
happen. And he says, "I just want to give you the best that I possibly can, and it's not enough time to get to know you," which are two different reasons. And he doesn't even add the third reason, which is my family is not on board yet, and you
Yeah.
think that it's important that they are here or a video call or something.
Yeah.
So she says, "Why did you let me tell everyone? like, everyone knows that we're getting married. My entire
Yeah.
village is planning a wedding. People are gonna laugh at me. This will be a huge disgrace onto me.
Yeah.
And he says, "Well, maybe I wasn't clear," which is what some a foreshadowing for next week, which is they're gonna have a lot of did you or did you not say that you wanted to wait? And there's
Yeah.
no proof of it. We didn't get to see those calls, so
No,
we don't know who's
we
telling the
never
truth.
saw him say to her, "We can't have the wedding." Every time she talk about the wedding, he's like, "Okay,
Mhm.
gotta tell her soon."
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we
Yeah.
don't know if this was actually a misunderstanding or if he never really told her. Yeah.
Yeah. I think he never told
So,
her.
he's like, "Well, but you can show everyone in your village the promise, the ring. I remember the ring. It was you were so happy about this ring. It's a promise that we're going to get married." And she's like, "I'm trying to calm myself down right now. I can't even think." And she's patting herself down like Brian was. She's very hot and sweaty. And finally she just storms off. She did not flip a table or pour a drink on his head or stab him with a fork. So she is better than 99% of the women on this show.
All good.
All good. That gave me hope for the relationship.
She's mad though. Big mad.
She's really mad, and I would be too. That's
I would be too, because I think about all the people in the village
it's
that come out to celebrate
humiliating.
this wedding. It's like a huge event in their little village, and it is
It's like getting
humiliating.
stood up at the altar. Like
Yeah.
it's that is humiliating. Yeah.
Yeah.
He
I
went
see.
about this completely the wrong way.
I think he's gonna marry her anyway.
I think he might just have to now.
I
Like,
do
that's what they
too.
were saying on Pillow Talk. They were like, "You might as well start picking out names for your kids, buddy, because you're in this now. Just
I gotta
go
watch Pillow
along."
Talk.
Yeah.
Okay, next time on, Vanya is on her way to Croatia still, and she has worried. It has been one full day since she heard anything from Bojo. He is not returning her calls or her texts or
That's so
anything.
weird.
Because I think these are part of his psychological problems that his mother's talking about.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. And so she wonders, like, has he changed his mind? Like, here I am in my 5-inch heels running through airports, and so now we see Lauren say to Faith, "Are you sure you're okay with me meeting your family?" And she says, "Yeah, I think it's going to be fine. We're friends." And he says, "Are you going to tell them what I did? That would be bad." Why would she tell her family that?
Like that well, they people tend to on this show, and then the friends never forgive them, even though the person
Right.
has forgiven them. Yeah,
Let me
he
tell you
cheated on
something.
me, he got gonorrhea, he lied to me about that he was homeless. Um,
If a friend of mine told me about this person, this guy, and then I meet this guy, I'm like, fuck this guy. This guy's got an STD coming into the relationship from cheating
mhm.
on you. What?
Well, and
No.
that's what Faith said last time. She's like, "I don't think my family would like the way he's treating me and would want me to be with him."
Right.
That is your sign that you should want the same things for yourself and to not be with him.
Yeah, that's right. So we see Tiger Lily talking to Cruz, who's got dreadlocks, cornrows, some
Yeah, something's
interesting
happening there. Yeah.
hairdo on his head. So we see Tiger Lily talking to Cruz, and she says, "Yeah, it's not just the whole shaking hands thing or wearing the revealing top. I was like, we were fighting, and I just didn't take his calls for one day, and it literally sent him to the hospital." And Cruz is like, "Huh?"
What?
And they're talking heads. She goes, "Over the last 2 months, Adnan has become more controlling, and we just keep running into more and more issues." Duh.
No, duh, because
Duh.
now you are his wife. You are his
Right.
property according to him.
Hmm. Yeah.
And
Um,
not in all places and not in all of Jordan, but like in this family or at least according to him and his
according to
brother
him,
and
yeah.
Thayer, like the two of them have certain old
Well,
fashioned values when it
speaking
comes to
of
that.
talking to your brother about sex, ugh.
Oh yeah.
Ugh. Um, so in the car, Niles and Matilda are in the car, and he's telling her, "I've been telling you that we can't get married on this trip." And she goes, "When?" "No, you didn't. Stop lying." And then we see a talking head of them together, and she says, "You said that on this trip we would get married." He goes, "Well, what we said was we would plan the wedding." And she says, "Stop." She says, "How can you say that to me? You're not telling the truth." And he's not, because he told us before he went, she thinks we're getting married. I have to tell her we're not. So
Yeah.
he knows that she's planning. He never told her beforehand. So I don't know why he's trying to.
I don't know if he's gaslighting or if he's just confused himself. I don't want to give him too much, like,
Yeah, I mean, he said on camera,
I don't
like,
want to let him off the hook for this because
yeah,
this is bad.
it
Yeah.
is. It is. So Brian has asked to go meet Ingrid's parents. Why? 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 This is not your girlfriend. You don't need to meet her parents.
No, he's wormed his way into the son by getting
Mhm,
her flowers, and now he's
mhm.
gonna worm his way into the parents.
He's trying. And so, but just mom is there and he's trying to charm her. But in the talking head, she's like, uh-uh. And the producer says, so, what do you think of Brian? And she just looks at the floor and she says, nothing good.
What is it? Like,
She could tell
can
right
she just
away.
tell that he's smarmy?
Yeah.
Like, he's acting very, like, smarmy, like, just like you salesman.
He totally is because they were like, oh, dad's not here. And they said, no, dad's really tough. He goes, but not mom. You're not tough. I'm sure he's like, I thought you guys were sisters.
Oh my
Like
god,
he's,
yes.
yeah. And mom's like, I see through
Yes.
that shit. No.
Yep, mhm.
So Renee says, she's back. Renee says, I
Oh,
wish,
can we just say how peaceful this week was without
yeah,
Renee?
yeah, it was nice. It
It
was
was
nice.
nice. Yeah, happy birthday, Mary Pink.
Yeah, it was right. So she says, I wish I would not have fought and I wish I was still with Chitty. And then we see Chitty talking to his sister. And he says, I know that you're asking me if I miss her, but to be with Renee is my utmost desire. And sister goes, wow.
Poor Victoria is like, she's just gotten smacked in the face. Like,
She literally did like a Real Housewives. Wow.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
And the talking head, she cries when production is talking to her about it. She cries. She says, excuse me. She goes, I know that she needs love, but this is not the right woman for him.
Mhm.
And then she says to him regarding Renee, she has this war mentality. And are you willing to give up your family? Because we don't want it in our house. We don't want
Mm-mm.
her.
No, this is a peaceful space, and
Yeah.
she brought chaos.
And she did. And she
Mhm.
did. Yes. And, everybody this week is sending me all of the, they're posting all over social media and stuff.
Yeah,
And
which is
some,
why they're not going to the reunion, right? Or there's not gonna be a reunion, or they're not invited.
I don't know. I mean, we got to have a reunion with these people. We got to,
I know.
so many questions.
So maybe the rumor is just that they're not invited because they've broken their NDA
So
so
many
many
rules.
times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Angela used to do that all the time and she still got fucking invited. Nobody wanted her
Angela
there.
freaking had assault and battery against other cast
Yeah.
members at
Yeah.
reunions,
On
and
the
they kept
stage. And they
inviting
would
her
be
back.
like, yeah,
Yeah.
come on, girl.
Yeah, they don't care.
Yeah. I mean, so we got Renee and Chidi aren't going to come. Let's see who else we got here. So we got Vanya and Bojo. They'll be there. I don't think they're going to be controversial. And then we've got Sunny and Vea. I'm sure they're going to make up, don't you think?
Yeah, I think so.
And then we've got Brian and Ingrid. Yeah, I'd like him to be on that stage and
Yeah.
speak for himself. I would.
I don't know who is gonna come after these people, though. Like, who is gonna come after Lauren and Brian? Is Sean gonna do it? Because she's usually pretty soft. So, like, we need a pillow. We need like Tim to come on, and
Yeah.
Andre, some people from get
Yeah.
Jasmine on, and like have them go at
Yeah.
these
Like
people.
how sometimes we have like a panel.
Yes, a panel. Yeah.
I feel like Vanya would be pretty good at calling people out.
Yeah, that's true. She might be.
And I was going to say Vea, but I don't.
Ingrid might call out Lauren. She's the type of girl that can see it in other people, but not in the guy she's dating. So she might call out some of this bad behavior.
Yeah, you're right. We do need a little panel of past cast members to weigh in here.
Yeah.
But don't make it 5 episodes. Don't do that to us.
No, I can't do that again.
Just
I don't want all these people in a house together.
I don't mind the house, but it's 2 episodes.
Yeah, 2 episodes.
It's 2 episodes. It's in the house.
Or
and then
if
the
you
next
really
day.
want to, you do a Big Brother thing and you have all this like night cam footage where people can just stay up all night and watch them in the house if you want to. But
yeah, well, right.
The rest of us don't have to.
That's funny. Well, they are doing like a 90-day house, I think.
Oh yeah, you're
There's
right.
gonna be
Do
like
we
a
know
show.
who's in it?
Maybe.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I can't say.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. So what we learned is we're going to follow Faith on Instagram. It's at Faith90Day.
Mhm.
And we were laughed a lot on this episode. So thank you for the birthday laughs. And thank you for decorating for
Anytime.
me. That's so nice.
Happy birthday, Mary Payne. Wear a
Thank
condom
you.
out there, kids.
You guys wear a condom and not just when you're putting your catheter on at all times.
Mhm.
He should
Mhm.
just have one on at all times.
Yeah.
Oh, that guy. So gross.
So
Everybody,
gross.
A Date with Dateline is Kimberly and Katie's podcast. They're very funny and they talk about Dateline and sometimes it's serious, but they have a live event on Wednesday. Now, is this for Patreon Supercast people?
No, it's gonna be on our YouTube channel, which
Okay.
is at, A Date with K and K.
A Date with K and K
Yeah.
on YouTube
Mhm.
and go there and it'll be a free live thing.
Yes.
And we are trying to figure out our Christmas movie that we're going to do like we did
Yeah.
last year. Somebody recommended that we do the Travis and Taylor Christmas Hallmark movie, which I don't know what that is.
I I
Is
had
there a
no
movie?
idea.
Is there like a Hallmark movie based
Oh,
on like a
like when
pop
they
star
did.
and
Yeah, 'cause they or is it, like, literally them, like, when they do, like, a Prince Harry and Meghan movie,
yeah.
People are
Yeah, yeah.
playing them. It
Yeah.
could be like that, so interesting.
Yeah,
I'll
I'd
check it
rather
out.
it be loosely based on if it's really actually going to be them, then I do not want to watch that.
No, but I would love a loosely based
Yeah,
and but add a murder. If you can find something like that, but add some sort of, like,
crime.
mystery element to it,
Mhm.
or at least, like, a scavenger hunt, something like there's, like, a millionaire that died and hid
Yeah,
their treasure somewhere in the
yeah,
town, and then we have to find it because
yeah.
that's
That
sort of
would be
what we
good.
had last time,
Yeah.
and that was good.
Yeah, that was good. If anybody has suggestions of Hallmark Christmas movies or classic Christmas movies that are cheesy that we can make fun of, that possibly have a crime, um, and loosely based on is also funny. So
Mhm.
anybody, that's just a few
The
things that we
parameter.
need, a
Yeah.
few parameters, and then we need to come up with a date. Once we come up with the date, that'll really put the screws to us to make us come up
Yeah,
with
because
a
right now we're
movie.
just going, "Hey, we should do that."
We should
Yeah,
do
"Oh, yeah,
that.
we're gonna do it." Yeah.
We're gonna do it. We just don't have any plan whatsoever. So yeah, you guys let us know what your suggestions are and follow Kimberly and Katie at Dateline and listen to them on Wednesdays. That's when they have their show. They cover the new Dateline that comes out Fridays. And follow me on Instagram at Pink Shade Pod. I'm going to put up a funny reel of this episode because
Yeah!
I made some notes because there was some funny stuff here. We were
Woohoo!
funny. Look
About
at us.
gonorrhea?
Yeah, gonorrhea is hilarious.
Poor people. I hope no one's listening that has gonorrhea and is felt shamed. It never our intention.
What was the word again? Sludge.
Sludge.
So gross. Okay, everybody, we'll end on that note. Bye.
Bye.
Ads not read by me, Mary Payne, don't necessarily reflect the views of Pink Shade. If you'd like to listen to ad free, you're going to go on over to Supercast or Patreon, and you can find the links to Pink Shade Prime at pinkshadepodcast.com.